I bought these Amla green tea powders from Mastering Diabetes because they claimed that it will lower your blood sugar. And as a type 1 diabetic, anything that will help me use less insulin, I'm interested in. And I really respect Mastering Diabetes. Everything that they've said has been borne out to be absolutely true. They base their information on science and they've tested it out on themselves, and they are also type 1 diabetics. So the first one I tried is this one right here, and this is the elderberry. And when I was buying these, I wanted to know, what do they taste like? Are they gross? Are they good? So I also want to tell you what they taste like and if they worked, and do they lower blood sugar, which they claim, and lower A1C. They do for me. And it did take a couple weeks for me to tell. And the reason why I know it works for me is because I test my blood sugar before I eat every single meal. So about 4 to 5 times per day, I test it. So I started with this one, and this is 90 servings, and they come in different sizes, either 30 or looks like 90. So this is triple. That's why it doesn't just appear larger, it is larger. And so normally I will have like a smoothie, fruit smoothie every morning with about 3 bananas, 3 frozen bananas, and almond milk or water or cocoa powder. Anyway, some sort of different combination, but around 3 bananas. So that's 90 grams of carbohydrates. And I also work out every single day. So I have my smoothie and then I work out. So I will go for a long walk around 2.5 to 3 miles. And then 5 days a week, I will also do some weightlifting before. But what I found out is doing really intense exercise like weightlifting will increase cortisol, which will increase my blood sugar, and going for a walk will lower it. So before I started taking this, I would take about 6 units of insulin. So now I've been taking it for about 2 months, and I put a scoop of this in my smoothie, and now I only need to take 3 units, and then I've been adding more fruit. So 3 units compared to 6. So I'm using half the amount of insulin every morning with this, with 1 scoop. Pretty amazing. I haven't tested my cholesterol yet, so I don't know if it's also lowered my cholesterol. So I can't vouch for that yet. They also claim that it lowers blood pressure, it reduces inflammation by 46%, it lowers LDL, that's your bad cholesterol, by 14%, and increases your good cholesterol, that's your HDL, by 17%, and lowers your A1C by 0.5%. And all of these are the same percentage. So it doesn't matter if you pick this one over this one, you're still going to get the same benefits. So what each of them tastes like to me is this one tastes like just a little bit of a mint flavor, just a very subtle mint flavor. And that one contains amla, elderberry extract, ginger, cinnamon, and peppermint. And this one here, this is green tea, and it contains only 2 ingredients, oolong tea and amla. So amla is an Indian gooseberry, so that's why it says Indian gooseberry on all of them. So it tastes like a very strong black tea. And I am actually not a fan of bitter flavors. So for me, this is too strong. This is very, very strong. But if you like very strong green tea, that you might like. This one is a pumpkin spice. So this one tastes like a unsweetened pumpkin, like spice dish, without the sugar. And it's like, I want to add sugar. So maybe if I put this in a smoothie with a bunch of bananas. It might be really good. And they do have recipes on their website. They have a bunch of them. They have one that looks really good. It's a pumpkin spice ice cream with real creamy pumpkin in it. So that one looks really good. The only thing I don't like, it's got maple syrup. So adding maple syrup to anything is going to spike your blood sugar. So not great, but it's better than what most people eat. And the ingredients, I already mentioned that for that. So okay. Did I mention the pumpkin spice? Cinnamon, amla, or they pronounce it amla, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, allspice, and cardamom. So amla has the highest ORAC value, so it has the most antioxidants. It is a true superfood, and so that's why it has all these benefits. So what I wanted to show you what each of these looks like. So you can see I used a lot of this already. So it comes with this little tiny scooper, and you only need this amount, a very, very small amount, and that little packet just keeps it so it doesn't clump. And I don't like the way they taste with just blended with water. It's just kind of like a dirty water and it dirties up my glass. So by putting this in a smoothie, you barely taste it. And then what I do is I will put a scoop of this with a whole bunch of different herbs and spices, and then I'll add freshly ground flax seeds, and then I'll sprinkle that on my salad. So and then I add some salt, and then I barely taste it. And the more consistent you are in taking this, and the more often you take this, the better the results. So I was only taking this in the morning, but then I started taking it in the afternoon, and I started seeing a little bit better benefits after my lunch. So the makers of this Amla product say that, you can have this with your breakfast and your lunch, and then you can even put a little bit in your dinner, and then you're going to even see better results. This is what the pumpkin spice looks like inside. If you pair these or one of these with a low fat plant based diet that has zero cholesterol, so you don't want to eat cholesterol because that will raise your cholesterol, then you're going to get even better benefits. Your blood sugar will be better. Your cholesterol will be better. Your blood pressure, did I already say that? Will be better. Your body will be better, and you'll have much, much lower inflammation. So definitely combine these two. And I created a diet book that has anti-inflammatory recipes that are high in whole food carbohydrates, that is very low in fat, low in saturated fat, and it follows the low fat plant based diet, which works perfectly to improve your overall health. So if you want to check that out and Amla Green, check out my website at thehigh5diet.com and let me know if you have any questions. I have 2 diet books, and one is a detox and the other one is for every day. Pretty amazing stuff. Definitely recommend. And if you want to taste the different ones before getting the large portion, you'll save a lot of money. So the price is much cheaper for the 30, and then if you like it, grab the bigger portion, the 90 servings. And I think that's all I got for you today. Let me know if you have any questions and if you're going to give this a try.
For my favorite low-fat, oil-free, plant-based vegan recipes, order my cookbook with nutrition facts on how to prevent and reverse disease, which chronicles my personal health and weight loss story through my website, thehigh5diet.com.